Hi, I'm Ken Brown, CEO of Destiny Global, and welcome to this edition of Success Tips. This is a bi weekly teaching that myself and the master trainers here at Destiny Global bring you content to keep you going and keep you on track as you continue to grow your personal development skills. And today is a very interesting topic. It is forgiveness. And I'm actually going to go into very specific things, the three keys to forgiveness in the workplace. There was a recent study done by Barnum. Very large pollster. They go in and do studies. Very conservative group as well. So the information I'm about to share with you is probably going to be a little shocking. Did you know that 88% of individuals in the workplace feel uncomfortable knowing how or what process to follow of going through forgiveness in the workplace? It was kind of mind-boggling to me. Doesn't mean that it doesn't happen at times, but they feel uncomfortable. That is a very high percentage. Thinking about 88, that means only 12% really do. That is a very low percentage considering the number of companies and places, and these were small, mid, and large-sized companies. And it was done in multiple cities across the United States. So, in looking at something and having a topic brought to me, and actually having few of our clients, and specifically one that I'm coaching with right now, ask this question of me: how do you practice forgiveness in the workplace? Well, it's quite simple. The same way that you would do it at home. We sometimes complicate things, but let me tell you something. No different at home or at work. If you're not creating an environment of forgiveness, an environment or a culture of forgiveness, because why? People make mistakes. We're going to screw up. We're going to be late to work, just like kids are late to dinner. Everything that you could possibly have at home, you're going to have at work in some form or another. And practicing forgiveness is core, because if you don't, you're going to have a toxic environment. And toxicity, it literally poisons and kills everything around it. Just like getting poison on a lawn, it starts in one area, but it begins to spread, and the disease kills it. The fact is unforgiveness in a workplace creates pockets. As we call them here, there are little cliques and fiefdoms that happen where one group is talking against the other, and this one over here is talking against that one. And what happens is there's division. And the one thing that we practice here at Destiny Global very adamantly and intentionally, as Dr. April Brown, my wife, would say, and that is we're intentionally going to work to forgive. Sometimes it's painful. That does not mean automatic trust given back, that you're going to jump back in the middle of something, but you're going to work to gain that trust back. So I'm going to give you three things that are so important. Number one, if you're an employer or an employee, I want you to practice the model of forgiveness in your workplace. If you don't have those skills, you do need to join us in Dynasty, where we go through really how to resolve conflict. Now, forgiveness can be done very easily. That is asking someone, apologizing to them, okay? And it can be very simple. We have a formal process that we like to go through, which I'm not going to go in depth here, because what I want you to do is I do want you to attend Dynasty so you get it, because it's a whole workshop and exercise that I will not be able to cover in 11 minutes. In fact, I would need about 11 hours to go into full depth of that. But what I do want to give you snippets of this is that you walk through a process of going to someone that you have offended, okay? And that is that you ask them for forgiveness. Now, how do you have to do that? In a workplace that you may feel more comfortable saying, I would like to apologize to you, or I am so sorry that I did that. Those words mean similar things to people, okay? I choose to use forgiveness. I ask that you forgive me, because I want them to know that I'm intentional about that word. I want them to know. Does the word I'm sorry? Yes, it does. As does, hey, I apologize. Those are all strong words, okay? And you need to pick which one is going to work better in your culture as well, okay? So I want you to think about that. Make sure as you're doing it that you're teaching others as they see you do this. If you're a leader, model it in your workplace. Show them. Because what do? How would you go about doing this? A brown bag lunch, right? So everybody comes together in a team building mode. You come together. Hey guys, we know we're going to have conflict. You need to admit that. Number one, how do you create a culture? Admit that there's going to be a problem with this. Why? Because you have all high performance people trying to accomplish something. Sometimes there's going to be personality conflicts. Yes, that's true. we teach on that too, called gyms. You're going to have conflict in personality. You're going to have conflicts in ideas. Sometimes egos are going to get in the way. We teach on that too. Isn't that amazing? Right? So the fact is that you have to be willing to address these things openly as an employer and as an employee. You don't have to be the CEO of a company to do this. It's practiced sometimes in our lunchroom here at the office, and I just walk in and hear it. Why? Because someone didn't feel like they treated someone else the way that they needed to be treated. Or if you're the one who's been offended, bring it to their attention. And there's so many little examples that you can do to come to it, to not create, hey, this is brought to my attention. I just want to talk to you about it. I'm not sure if you knew, but this is what that caused me to feel. Now, I chose to feel that way, but I would like to know, is this the way that you intended it? And bringing it to them, you're going to get a response. And walk through it, right? Because what you're doing is you're bringing an offense to someone in the workplace, because if you do not deal with it, it will continue to grow. And you'll have further offenses. It's almost like that little annoying thing, like a noise on a chalkboard that you hear the first time, and it just messes with your head. Oh, that's painful. It's like every time that you see them doing that again, it's going to be a constant reminder, because you have not dealt with that pain. And it just doesn't go away. Time does not bring forgiveness. Forgiveness is a process and action of intentionally walking through and forgiving someone for something that has been done. It does not just automatically happen. Now then, once you've done that, either you're the one that's apologized or you're the one that's being apologized to, you need to build new experiences with the person that offense was created, right? You can work on another project with them and make sure that you're accountable, that you're not repeating the same things that you did in the past. Because if you did that, then there's not really this other word that comes into forgiveness, is if you're the person that did it, right? So if you did something against man, you also did it against God. So you want to repent, and repent means turn away. So you have to work diligently not to repeat that thing. So be conscious of what you did before. Now, with certain personality types, you'll find that this can be mine. For example, I am known as a Ruby. And for those of you who know gyms, you know what that means. For those of you who don't, that's a person that wants to go take charge. I'm going to take on a challenge. I'm going to push forward. I'm going to continue to drive. And sometimes that meant in my past that I would consider tasks more important than people. Ooh, I admit it, right? I do. I tell this from stage numerous times. But the fact is, people are more important than tasks, okay? So as you're doing this, you want to rebuild that trust by making sure that you're not just blowing past something to get the result again. Make sure that you're paying attention to the people that's in your group and understand their personality. Understand how God created them, their motivations, their skills, and incorporate their skills in with yours. Every one of us can complement the other in our skill sets if we pay attention and learn each other. It's so important, and that's a vital part of forgiveness. By the way, I was asked this by one of our clients. Well, isn't forgiveness religious? Actually, forgiveness is being human. You need to realize that in religion, not just Christianity, not just Judaism, not even Muslim or any of the others, when you look at it, it's about forgiveness is a common practice amongst humanity around the world. When you do a wrong, you work to correct it. So as you're thinking about this, look at it. Is it a spiritual thing? Yes, it is spiritual, because you're actually releasing someone and you're creating unity back with them, right? You're creating peace. You're creating harmony. Who does not want a culture of peace and harmony? Who in the right mind at your home or in the workplace? It is so important that you stay focused on creating a culture that allows for prosperity, that allows for idea generation. Guess what? People are going to come up with ideas sometimes that seem so crazy, but if you stifle them, they're going to start quieting. And by the way, that can also cause a process of needing to forgive, because they feel like they're being capped, as certain personalities are going to be spitting out ideas constantly, coming up with new ideas. By the way, if it wasn't for some crazy ideas, you would have never had the tunnel that goes underneath the English Channel. Did you ever think? Greatest actions come up with crazy ideas. But the truth is, you don't know till you explore something. So hold back judgment in certain situations. Be open minded. Approach and create this culture in your workplace, whether you're the employer, the owner, at the top of the ladder or the bottom of the ladder, it doesn't matter, because when you start applying these skills, there's one thing that will happen. Is you improve your people skills, you will be considered for promotions. It is a matter of fact. It's what I practice. I look for people with skill, obviously, to do the job that I'm asking. But how they treat people will determine where they're at in my organization. Because valuing people and their skills and the talents that God gave them, the creator of the universe gave them, and helping them foster and grow that. And as they do that, everything within a company elevates. Where do you want to be? I encourage you to practice forgiveness in your workplace. Thank you for joining this episode, and see you soon.